yo. I just woke up, so I'm able to make my voice really low.
Isn't that great? I had a dream, of course. I don't really have the time or patience to go through all of it, but I know that if I say
Some of it.
it'll make me remember all of it in the long run. So, basically, I got a job where, I paid to solve things in my sleep because I would astral project or go through the other dimensional stuff and meet up with other people who also have the same job. It's always convenient because we can work technically
From home.
because it's all in our heads. Sort of. So, I would get scheduled called the graveyard shift just for fun because it was during sleepy time and it's always going 24/7 technically because of the time changes all around the world, so it's nighttime somewhere. So as long as I was asleep before I was scheduled to show up, and they go by our time zones. They'll tell us by our time to make it easier to understand. So, who da nanny, what da nanny do? So as long as I was asleep before I was supposed to show up to my shift, then I was good to go. And so I'll be having my own dreams and la di da, and then if I was scheduled for like 3:30 a.m. to show up for my shift, then at 3:30 a.m. my time, I would just kind of go whoosh, and it's like they would summon me there. I guess to make sure that I don't skip work. I don't know. They would just remind us that okay, it's time to gather. We'd gather in this giant empty pool, but it was a giant empty pool that's not a real pool because we're not in let me get my fingers out, the real world, sort of, because we're all not astral, or kind of astral travel, I don't know, we're all just floating around, and we could transform and manipulate energies and stuff, and so it's our job to create, protect from, there was on one planet, there was an attack going on, and so one of our jobs was to go and use our energies, and they couldn't see us, to just kind of reflect the attacks. And so it was say if there was a bomb coming down, and it was this they were weird looking, they weren't bombs, they were just some sort of alien technology. We would go and we would kind of dissolve it, sort of, and it would just kind of sputter and crackle out and turn into it would break up, and it was pebbles instead of the weapon. And so all of the people living or things living there, they were but then we would protect them. They couldn't see us though, but we would break down the energy of whatever was hurling towards it and just send it back outward in a gas form, and just push it out so it wouldn't look the same. But energy cannot be created or destroyed. And we would just, no, don't kill these people. And of course, if they were had some sort of god, that's who they would thank instead of us. But and then we would go to our next part. But then we would also have, like, during our breaks or something, there was, like, times when we would kind of, like, fight each other, and we could transform our images into, like, different things, and this one person would, like, transform into this weird, like, lion thing, and then, like, mine was, of course, that Paradox Wise character that I told you about. And if you're watching this and you're not the person I told about Paradox Wise, then it can just be a mystery, because I don't feel like talking about that, because it involves a lot of words. So we would be like, we're in this giant empty pool again, but you know, it's not a real pool, because you know, we're not in, like, yeah, three-dimensional world. Hootenanny world. And we'd be like, kind of just like, I guess making sure that we had full control over, like, what we were supposed to use for our jobs, and so we could do our, like, transformations. And at this one point, I was in, like, this weird mall, but, like, it wasn't a real mall, it was like another dimensional mall, and so I was, like, taking different forms, and like, I spilled, like, stuff all over this outfit I was wearing, and so and then I was gonna go in this fancy store, and I was like, I can't go in there with stains on my clothes. But I was in there to, like, find something and kind of, like, switch it out and, like, kind of absorb it into the whatever place to bring it back to work. Like, it was work. We got checks. Like, we got our three-dimensional checks. It's like they just, like, reformatted their form of payment to, like, everyone else's currency, and I guess, like, other worlds, like, maybe if they paid in, like, weird alien fruits, like, that's how their payment would manifest. But, like, I was getting paid for my hours, so it's like a job. And so, before I walked into the store, I, like, focused, and I made the stains disappear, and then my shirt got, like, and I didn't have to do it myself. I was just, like, standing there, and then my shirt, like, tucked into my skirt, and, like, they kind of changed more into, like, a pastel color, because, like, the store was just, it fit in with that store. And then I came in, and there were, like, baby pink pastel-y colored carpet in there, and the receptionist was like, oh, hello. I don't know, the store clerk. And I was like, hello. Oh, I just love the color of this carpet. And she's like, oh, isn't it great? It's too bad that we don't sell it. And I was like, I mean, I was like, oh, yeah, but, like, I was like, and so I'm walking around, it's a really boring store, and then I finally find what I'm looking for, and it's, like, this display rack with, like, pamphlets, but, like, I pulled out one of the pamphlets, and then it just, like, unfolded into this, like, weird, like, I don't know, it was from something off of different from that world that was, like, trying to weasel its way into that world that I was trying to get rid of, or I don't know. And so I pulled that out, and then it looked like to her it would look like I'm just, like, looking at a pamphlet, but to me I could see it in what it really was, like, once I focused on it enough for it to manifest into, like, kind of what it actually was. But then I was keeping her from seeing it, which took even more energy, and I was just, but, like, what we gotta do for, what we gotta do. And so, yeah, and then, excuse me, oh, I'm sorry, I just woke up. That's why my voice can be low. so I go, and I'm looking at this thing, and I was like, oh no, this is no good. And so I folded back up the pamphlet, and I was like, this store is wonderful, and I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna show my family this, and we're gonna decide on some purchases. Actually, I think it was like a furniture store or something, like so it makes sense to like take stuff home, like a pamphlet home, so we can like look at it and be like, oh, this couch would look marvelous, marvelous, simply marvelous. I like furniture stores a lot, and I really want a really cool couch right now, so maybe that was like me projecting. Because I saw a really cool picture of a couch the other day. And I've been wanting to reorganize my room and paint it. And put my library corner. Because I have a lot of books. And really cool bookcases. Hootenanny dootenanny. And so I got that, and I took it back to like that empty pool thing, and then I was analyzing it, and then I managed to like how you would diffuse a bomb. It was like I would diffuse the pamphlet so that it wasn't dangerous anymore. But then because I like took it from that world, like I had to return it to it, and then I was like, what am I returning these in like infinity stones? Like, what's going on? I made a joke. And so I like fixed that, and then like the lady who's like in charge of work there, I don't know where she. I think she's like exists in that like realm, because there's like also like it looks like a weird empty pool with like the pool house in the back and like kitchens, and I don't know. She has like staff back there, because I remember I was trying to get into the kitchen. I don't know why. Like, I think we can eat there, but it's not like real food, but it is real food because they have it there so we can practice like manifesting like texture, like so that it's like really bland and stuff unless we focus. It's like, okay, this is gonna taste like an apple and have the consistency of an apple. And so I was doing something, and I was like walking in the back, and like my boss, I guess she was my boss, was back there, and she's like, you're not on break, you don't need to be back there, get out there. And so I was like, okay. And I just like walked back to the empty pool. Oh, and another thing was sometimes like the coworkers, they would like mate in the empty pool in their like weird, like, I guess astral forms. And so like my first shift, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And within my dream, I had like 2.5 shifts. I got a text from my pharmacy that woke me up, and I was displeased. And so it's like I was at work. That's not cool. You can't just like summon me when I'm at work. And like I'm thinking like, if it were like how would I tell them? Like, I mean, they would know, like, 'cause like it's like, oh, and then I wouldn't get my full hours. But it's just like, that's why they have do not disturb, I guess, for when we're like astral traveling to our jobs. That was a good invention. Do not disturb. I used to use it, and then I accidentally turned it off. Was it an accident? Probably not at the moment. I accidentally forgot, or I forgot to turn it back on. But and so for my first day on the job, or night on the job, my first time on the job, because like time is not really a thing there. They just like organize it so that our little noggins can understand it. But like people were in these like different like astral forms, like just like having sex, and I was just like, and sometimes they would like not malfunction, but it's like they would kind of morph into other things momentarily because they're like in the moment and don't have complete control over like how they're presenting their physical form. And I was just like watching, and I was like looking at the other people, and they're like playing cards or something, like Uno or whatever. Like, and I was like, is this normal for people to just, like, they're at work? And they're like, well, it's our half hour. Like, it's our break. And I was like, the lady just told me that it wasn't okay. And so then I was just like, and they're like, it's because their energies, if they do this when they're in the form here, then the energy that they create, um, it's capable of staying within, like, the astral realm or something. And there's, like, a place where, um, energies that are created in that, when you're in that, like, realm, like when you're at work, it's like they just kind of remain in there, and then because of that, it's easier for them to, like, become, like, kind of have the jobs of, like, what we have. And it's almost like the they don't get upset because they can't, like, go into the three-dimensional world with, like, their parents, because, like, and whenever we go into the world, they'll be able to, like, visit us or whatever. And they can also visit us too in their own weird way, because they're capable of, like, entering other realities. They'll just be, like, manifesting maybe as, like, what someone would think of as a ghost, but then, like, the person who was, like, created them while they were at work is just like, oh hey. But they're able to have better control over, I guess, not powers. It feels weird calling it powers. Like, they have more control. And so oh, what I was saying before I got distracted about them visiting mama and daddy, or mommy and daddy. That's the thing. It's just like two people, like, as long as they were, like, in a sexual act, they could like their the energy that they were using, kind of like, because energy cannot be created or destroyed, and so it's like from that energy that they were using for that act, they would kind of pull different energies that were already kind of wanting that kind of existence. They would pull them together to form them into, like, a conscious entity that's able to have, like, those abilities. Feels weird calling them abilities too. Like, it's just the way they exist. It's just how, I guess, that my language would call them powers or abilities, but it just pulls it so that the different energies who had interested in it in the first place are able to, like, actually manifest the way they want to, and create, like, some sort of, like, young, like, child, which is weird, like, child multi-dimensional energy things that don't really have, like, a steady form, because they'll, like, constantly, I think they'll also change form depending on, like, since we're, like, humans, but we can also, like, change our forms. They'll sometimes look like glitchy humans, especially when they're itty bitty teeny weeny. I'm not singing that polka dot song with the bikini. Not right now. And then it would just, like, change, or they could change, and then, like, and so it's like the little, like, it would be created, and then it would just, like, our boss would just, like, kind of guide it where they needed to go to, like, fully, like, come into, like, being, and, like, get used to, like, not be, like, floating energy all around, but, like, had, like, the energy being pulled and, like, compacted to, like, this actual, like, thing. Like, it was interesting. I wanted one, but I was like, no, I'm okay. And so it was just stuff like that, and there was a lot going on, like, a lot more happened, but I was just like, man, like, I know when I, like, my lucid dreams and stuff like that, and, like, the more control I take, the more tired I am when I wake up in the morning, and that's how it was my second shift I woke up, and I was like, oh man, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to have to go to work when I'm tired, and then I was like, but wait, I already went to work. So I can just take a nap, like a normal nap. What's a normal nap? For me, like, my dreams are very intense, so, like, that would have been a normal nap, obviously, because it was a normal dream that I had for my normal sleep. Before I got a text from my pharmacy. But yeah, that's pretty neat. I want a job like that. Like, cause, like, I'm really good at manipulating my dreams. I got really good at it. And it does take, like, focus. And because your brain's, the connections in your brain when you're doing stuff in your dreams, it's like you're actually, ew, I sound like a South Park character. It's like it's actually happening. And so, like, the more control I take, like, the tired I am. And sometimes if I start exerting too much control, I'll accidentally wake myself up because it becomes too, like, I think I'll jolt because, like, in my dream I'm trying to move, and then somehow I'm actually, like, even though your body kind of sort of temporarily paralyzes itself, like, my focus or something, it'll cause me to move, and then that'll wake me up. But I can do pretty much anything I want otherwise, and I know when I know my limits in there, and so I'm like, I can't do this much. I really like eating chocolate when I'm in my dreams. I'm allergic to chocolate. And I feel like make this cup of hot chocolate and a little hot chocolatey froth that you get from just, like, pouring that delicious cocoa. I'm just like, oh, this is so good. And yes, I have, like, felt like if I eat something too hot, it'll, like, burn the roof of my mouth, and then I'll wake up in the morning and be like, so yeah, but now I'm talking about that non sequitur. Sorta, because I was still talking about my dreams. Hootenanny, hootenanny. Oh well, one day I'll actually write or speak in depth about my whole, like, dreamy worldy thingy, majigger control, lucid dreaming, astral control, Wish I had enough time and focus. I need coffee.